Good morning, Greg here, burner both ends, burner on the front end of May 15th, 2018. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning in Albany, California. Got the garage door open, some fresh air coming in, some sunshine, and just ready to attack the day. And let me fix the hat a little bit there. There we go. So before we get into it, just want to give a huge shout out to my business partner, Chin. We have a Monday night call. And we're on the call and talking about my channel. And I'm always a little hesitant to mention the channel. I don't know, it's just part of me. I got to get over that. That's one of the barriers I'm breaking through right now, is letting people know about my channel. And I asked her about it, and it was a perfect answer. So she was going through the week. She was struggling with her own motivation. And she's like, well, let me see if Greg's still doing that thing. And it's only been a week, so it's easy for me to keep doing it. Let's check in a year from now. And I was posting twice a day, and she watched the post and she totally got inspired, which is exactly the reason for this channel. Excuse me. And it's that bubbly water. Love it though. So anyway, so I was super psyched that I was able to inspire her, and this is like I said, the purpose of the channel. And just one comment on Chin and myself as business partners is I find that we are a very good team because we are very complementary as far as our backgrounds and the ideas that we bring to the table, which I think is so important for a team. I don't want to have a team of people that look and act like me. I want to have, I guess they can look like me. It doesn't really make much of a difference. It's more what's in their mind, what's their motivation, where do they come from? Are they bringing different ideas to the table? Because I don't want a bunch of people that think the way I do. I want people that think differently, and Chin certainly does. I think that's why we make a very powerful team. And so I'm psyched to look at tech transfer opportunities with her and see what she has to say about them, and then work through all the due diligence. It sounds exciting. So now on to today's topic. So I mentioned that I'm part of a men's team. We get together about once a week. We talk about our struggles, our wins, being successful. What is it like to be a man in today's world? And by the way, for any woman listening, just substitute the word woman in there. So it's not man specific. It's a men's team, and so we just use the word man all the time. And we have this concept of the man I always wanted to be, and that's where we'll start. And where this begins is this 3-day weekend called the Sterling Men's Weekend. I've linked to it in the outline, and I'll just read the purpose of the Sterling Men's Weekend. It's to engage in the process of locating the source of your power and discovering and dissolving the barriers between you and manifesting that power so that you can experience total freedom as only a man can, and with that freedom be the man you always wanted to be. So that's where that man you always wanted to be thing comes from. And to me, the man I always wanted to be, it's a vision of a person, and I'm constantly moving towards that man by taking action to embody him. And just like any vision, I'll never get there, and if I'm doing it right, then I'm loving the journey. That's the critical thing, is these specific actions I'm taking I should love, right? Or else I'm not choosing the right actions. And of course, this is different for every man. So every man needs to do some self-inspection, like Gary Vee says. Huge fan of Gary Vee. Self-awareness, self-audit. Figure it out. Figure out what I'm good at, what I love doing, what I want to do in life, and then the actions fall out of that. And I've learned that the man I always wanted to be is someone of service, someone that gives back. I'm very lucky to have a pretty nice functioning brain. I've learned that, and I want to make sure that I'm collecting knowledge and I'm giving it away, and that's a real purpose of this channel. That's why I really feel empowered with these posts, as kind of goofy and awkward as they might appear sometimes with the hat and the hoodie and the background and all that business, but it's more the content, it's the platform, so I can say my piece. And my goal is to inspire, to inject knowledge and inspire. And it also keeps me on the hunt for more knowledge and more wisdom, and meet more people and collect more. So it's working very well. And part of this men's team is I co-lead something called the technology team, right? So I know a lot of us older people in life right now, let's say the 40 plus, maybe 50 plus people, as in 50 years, might struggle with some technology, right? Whoa, what is this Twitter thing, and why is that important? And Instagram, and you know, I have a hard enough time just doing email, and now I got to do all these other things, and so I'm part of this tech team, as we call it, and the whole point is to introduce some of our men to specific technology that can really help in a daily life, like a calendar. I think is extremely important. I have my own comments about email. I'll probably do a whole post on that. I think email has to go away at some point. But calendar, when you think about it, the calendar is the hub. I mean, everything we do is an event with a time and a place, no matter what it is, no matter, you know. So anyway, so for example, introducing the calendar, we're also going to be doing some Facebook, some Meetup, and some Twitter. And so we have our first meeting tonight, so I'm totally psyched. I'm prepping for that to train the men. And yeah, so and the other cool thing is that it forces me to learn more about technology. So that way I have to have a relatively polished explanation for what a calendar is. I can't just get up there and just riff on it. I want to be like laser focused and concise, so that way the message is clear. Because I'm dealing with a whole bunch of different levels of technology understanding, from people that have no cell phone to people that are, you know, constantly tapping away. So the message has to be clear for that range, and so that's the challenge to me. Okay, so now back to this man I always wanted to be, and I can break it down in a few pieces, right? So it's be of service, collect, and then train folks and get the knowledge out there. Like I said, I'm lucky to have a brain that works pretty well. One of the great things about where I work, government lab, is that I'm somewhat on the mid to lower end of the brain level, so it's good for my growth, right? It's good to hang out with people that are much smarter, that are much more capable, so it's constantly pushing me. So it's a good place for me to be. And like I said, the purpose of this channel is to have a platform to give things away. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to continue to build and grow this. And yeah, and so now let's roll into my duties as a father and a husband, which are unbelievably important in my life. As far as being a husband, I want to support my wife in her life. I want to support the goals that she has. I want to make sure I'm enabling her to do the things that she needs to do. We have 2 beautiful kids, and that takes a lot of time. And so giving her time off and freedom to do some of the things that are her passions are very important. As a matter of fact, just the other week, she took 5 days off to go on a trip with some girlfriends. I think it was the first extended trip she's had in years, and so that was awesome to enable her to do that, to help her do that. So, you know, support her, take care of the kids while she was gone, have a no problem attitude around it. And I have to say, my kids are pretty good, so it's not too much challenge. And, you know, and with Google Hangout, back to technology, with Google Hangout and things like that, it's easy to stay connected with mommy while she's gone, especially with FaceTime on the phone. It's so easy. So, and then as far as the kids go, I'm always looking to inspire my kids. I want to teach them to critically think, to like analyze things, and not just always the same answer. And I can tell it annoys them because you know, they're looking for a simple yes or no, but they're not getting it from daddy. They're getting, here, this is how we think through this process, and this is how we attack this problem. Not the answer is yes. We have this Meyer lemon tree in our backyard, which I love. I have more lemons than I know what to do with, and so I'm already talking to my 7-year-old about having a lemonade stand. And the other day in the car, we were like rolling through different scenarios. Well, it's like, well, you could have a lemonade stand by yourself. You can have a lemonade stand with a partner. Or you can find like 6 to 8 people and put out many lemonade stands and then kind of manage the lemonade stands. Of course, you have to, develop a recipe. You might want to invite people over, try different recipes, see which one tastes the best. I mean, so it was kind of funny that even though she's 7, we're thinking through all these like really, what I would say, high-level business concepts. And it's amazing to see her absorb it and then ask all these questions. So it's fascinating. It's really cool. And and we haven't even done anything yet with it. I mean, will she ever have a lemonade stand? I have no idea. But it's just having a conversation and getting the ideas in her head. Also comes up with some of the other activities that she does outside of school. Like she did judo for a little bit. She wasn't really thrilled with that. Right now she's doing aerial gymnastics. She loves that. And sometimes, it's funny, she she wasn't sure if she wanted to sign up for a second round of that. And I just had to convey to her, listen, you really love this. Like, you get excited to go to this. You always have fun. When you come off, when you come out of the class, you're thrilled that you did it. So kind of reminding her what it is to love something and to be excited about something. And then she's like, oh yeah, of course I love it. I want to do it some more, right? So it's kind of interesting to see that. And also, this grind that I do, really me working real hard. Because my daughters see it. It's interesting. It's like they see this stuff. I mean, we think that they don't. We think, oh, they're only 3, they're only 4, they're not really. But they absorb all this stuff like you would never believe. And then all of a sudden, one day, 3 months later, a little comment comes out of their mouth, and you're like, wow, you've been watching me this whole time. That's crazy. So it's pretty cool. And then, on top of the father and husband, I want to be a powerful community member, right? We live in Albany. This is a great spot, I think, to raise kids. We got a lot of diversity here. We got a lot of really, powerful parents that put a lot of time in, which I think is like the foundation for community. It's parenting. It's simple. It's showing up and parenting kids. And so... another thing that I've been doing, this gentleman named Ty Lopez, he's an entrepreneur, big on the internet marketing piece. I've been getting emails from him for quite some time. I always appreciate his comments, and he had this concept. I remember in one email it was about, when you're walking through town and you see some garbage on the ground, pick it up and put it in the garbage. And so I've been doing that on my bike ride to work. There's a certain part of the hill where I always see garbage, and it kind of annoys me. So I'm like, you know what? Get off the bike, pick up some garbage, and then throw it away when I get up there. And it's amazing how there always seems to be plenty of garbage for me to pick up. So it's pretty cool. And then I also do it, when I'm just walking through town. And it's funny. I've been doing it for a few months now, and just the other day, my older daughter noticed it, and it was very cool. I'm also part of the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association. I find that to be very important. We do a talent show for our elementary school, and so since I have some experience with music and performance, I think I can really add a lot to that. The goal of that is to make it as professional looking as possible. So what I've introduced since I've done it for 2 years now, is I go out and I rent some LED lights for the performance, some performance lights, and it just lights in a performance take it up to such a higher level. It's almost unbelievable how much some simple lights. It's like a $200 rental. It's great. Impact Lighting, by the way, in Richmond. Thank you very much. Plug you there. Other things I want to do in the community, and this is kind of back to the channel, are collaborations. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vee and the tactics that he sends out, and one of the tactics that I'm definitely going to grab onto and just milk as much as possible are collaborations. I'm going to go around to the businesses in my community and just ask them if what kind of free content can I make, help them out, help me out, grow my channel, grow their business, get into some content, get into some collaborations. I just love that concept. And and so I'll be putting out great messages into the community and supporting the people that, the small businesses that are in their grind. I'm excited for that. And also with this grind, and I mentioned it before, but I'll mention again, my kids see it. They see it every day. They see, even though they're still sleeping when I get up, the garage is adjacent to the kids' room. So it's right there through that door. And so when they get up, they come right in here and they see Daddy grinding away, and something that I'm excited about. It might never happen, but at some point, one or both of my daughters might start getting up early with me so they can grind on their own thing. I have no idea. This may happen, it may not, but that could be a cool thing. So and it is these consistent things that I do that will mold my kids. Yeah, it's not some vacation weekend that we go on, even though that does create memories, but it's the consistency. That's why parenting is difficult, because it's the consistency. It's not, there's no shortcut. It's just kind of, it's just like life, right? There's no shortcut. Last night I posted about college grads, and a lot of these college grads, they're looking for that quick win, and there really isn't one. And that's why I love the message that Gary Vee sends out. It's the grind, it's 10 years, it's head down, it's focus, because that's what it is. And that's why parenting is hard, because it's an everyday activity. Of course, I can make mistakes. We're allowed to do that. I've messed up many times. There's no doubt about that. But still, it's the overall consistency. So as long as the net or the average is positive and moving in a positive direction, I think we're doing okay. So that's the piece today. Hope you enjoyed it. Moving toward the man I always wanted to be. Got a great meeting tonight to lead for my men, and we'll be talking about technology. And yeah, so go out, have a great day. If you dig the beats, check out the link below. G Money is my alter ego. I write beats for drum quintets and sextets, so some pretty cool beats. I have also linked down below the website for the Sterling Men's Weekend in case you're interested in that. There's also an equivalent women's side to this, so if you're female and you're interested in that, you can go to the Sterling website and find the Women's Weekend. Obviously, I have not done that, so I can't speak to it, but I've heard it's very powerful. There are motivational links below, so have a look at those, and please subscribe. I mean, I mentioned being of service. Please subscribe, please comment, tell me how you're doing, what are you up to. If you have any questions or if there's any way I can help, I would love to help. That's the point of this. I'm kind of waiting for my first real comment. I am waiting for my first real comment that asks for help, so I can deliver some help. And it's amazing how resourceful we get when we're posed with a problem. So anyway, give me a problem to solve, and I would really appreciate it. So with that, have an awesome Tuesday, and we'll talk soon.